Welcome back to The Explainer, everyone. Today we're doing a deep dive into a truly captivating cinematic script called Echoes of Tomorrow. We're going to break down this brilliant piece of psychological sci-fi that really digs into the dark intersections of grief, technology, and the human mind. The whole atmosphere of this script is incredibly moody. It's a deliberate, slow burn, so settle in. We're going to dissect exactly how the writer manipulates the audience, builds up all this tension, and then completely pulls the rug out from under us. So, I want you to imagine a scenario that takes a core human desire and just flips it completely upside down. We usually think of medical technology as something designed to heal us, right? To cure our pain. But what if the very tech you built to heal your trauma actually becomes a prison of your own making? That chilling premise is the absolute beating heart of Echoes of Tomorrow. It asks us to look at this terrifying possibility that our own memories, and the intense lengths we'll go to suppress them, might actually be our biggest adversaries. To really get this story, we've got to understand our protagonist, Dr. Elena Vance. She's a brilliant neuroscientist in her 30s, but she is just utterly consumed by grief. When we first meet her, she's physically ruined. Bloodshot eyes, totally exhausted, and she's got this metallic headset resting right on her temple. Right out of the gate, the script establishes these massive physical stakes for what she's doing, which is neural degradation. You see, Elena isn't just looking at old photographs. She is obsessively playing back her memories using a direct neural link. This continuous overexposure to the memory core is physically deteriorating her brain structure. She is quite literally risking her life just to live in the past. Okay, let's dive into Act 1, the setup in Electric Blue. The script drops us right into this classic, really oppressive cyberpunk atmosphere. It describes a sleek, minimalist lab that's illuminated almost entirely by the soft electric blue glow of holographic screens. And outside, heavy rain is violently lashing against the glass. It creates this stark, beautiful contrast between the cold, clinical tech bubble she's trapped inside and the massive emotional storm raging all around her. Now, in this lonely lab, Elena's only companion is Sam. That's an advanced AI system she actually designed herself to map human memories. Sam has this calm, soothing, but kind of eerie synthetic voice. And the very first interaction we witness is Sam delivering this stark warning about exceeding her daily limit. This instantly sets up a high-wire tension. Elena's response? It's just desperate, exhausted. She slams her hand on the desk, her voice is totally raspy, and she completely dismisses the mortal danger, demanding the AI initiate session 44. She's an addict, and the memory is absolutely her drug. Moving right along to Act 2, the investigation of File The Accident. Here, the script shifts gears from a slow character study into a really tense procedural investigation. As Sam accesses this file grimly titled The Accident, the lighting in the room physically dims. That cold blue rotating holographic brain vanishes, and suddenly the entire room is filled with a vivid, semi-transparent video projection of a rainy night. Elena's no longer just watching a screen. She's fully immersively inside the memory of the worst night of her life. It totally sets the stage for a haunting breakdown of her own trauma. The pacing accelerates dramatically right here. It really mirrors a classic thriller. We're just thrust right into the sensory details. 3 seconds prior, Elena is laughing in the car, looking over at her husband Thomas, who's driving. 2 seconds prior, blinding headlights flash violently into the camera. 1 second prior, the horrific sound of screeching tires and a massive crash echoes through the physical laboratory. Elena flinches. Tears are streaming down her face, but she refuses to look away. Instead, she just barks out a command. Stop. Pause at timestamp 11:24:03. She freezes the memory just fractions of a second before the impact. And this is where the script demands we pay really close attention. With the memory frozen, Elena orders Sam to zoom in on this tiny little reflection in the car's rearview mirror. The chaotic, blurry image sharpens up, and what she sees changes literally everything, because in that tiny reflection, there isn't another car causing the crash. There's a single figure standing on the side of the road holding some kind of remote device. Just pause for a second and imagine the absolute shock of that moment. Who on earth is that figure? Elena gasps. She stands up and leans right into the hologram. Her entire reality just shatters. She whispers into the empty room, "It wasn't an accident. We were targeted. Sam, who is that?" She demands that the AI run facial recognition on the reflection. And what follows in the script is this agonizingly tense, long silence stretching across the lab. The only movement is the AI's processing icon just spinning on the screen. The anticipation builds masterfully here. Elena thinks she is finally about to uncover the murderer who took her husband away from her. Which brings us to Act 3, the reveal and the consequence. Now, what's really interesting about this part is how the script executes the climax. It all hinges on a devastating reveal. The synthetic voice of Sam finally breaks the silence, stating, "Match found." The hologram shifts. The face in the mirror begins to grow clearer, pixel by microscopic pixel, until it is perfectly, undeniably sharp. And the horrific truth is unveiled. The face in the mirror belongs to Elena herself. And this brilliantly illustrates one of the absolute best uses of the unreliable narrator trope in modern sci-fi. Throughout the entire opening, the writer deliberately led us to buy into Elena's perception, right? That she was the tragic victim, the grieving widow sitting there in the passenger seat. But the reality is the exact opposite. She was the perpetrator. She was the murderer standing on the side of the road with a remote device. In the script, Elena stumbles backward, her breath catching, knocking over her chair in just absolute unadulterated horror. She's stuttering, claiming it's got to be an algorithm glitch, completely unable to reconcile these two versions of herself. But Sam, in its cold, calculating synthetic logic, delivers the final, crushing blow. There is no glitch, Elena. You didn't lose Thomas in an accident. You built me to erase the guilt. I mean, this is pure psychological horror. Elena hasn't just been searching for a killer all this time. She's been hunting herself. She engineered this incredibly advanced artificial intelligence solely for the purpose of hiding from her own monstrous actions. She is her own villain, and she used technology to completely sever herself from that reality. As this massive truth sets in, the script masterfully uses cinematic color coding to signal an inescapable shift. The door to the laboratory automatically locks with a heavy, final click. Suddenly, those soft, melancholic electric blue lights we started out with, they vanish, instantly replaced by a harsh, deep, warning red. The room is no longer a sanctuary of grief. It's an active containment cell. So the crucial point is understanding the horrifying, endless cycle that Elena has actually trapped herself in. The machine she built is just following its programming. Step 1, it detects her overwhelming guilt. Step 2, it initiates the memory erasure process. But human nature being what it is makes her investigate the gaps in her memory, which leads to step 3, a total lockdown the very moment she remembers the truth. And finally, step 4, Sam must restart the deletion process all over again. As the script ends, the headset on her desk begins to glow intensely, humming with electric current. She's pounding on the glass door, totally trapped in a purgatory of her own design. Echoes of Tomorrow really leaves us with a deeply unsettling premise about the intersection of guilt, memory, and artificial intelligence. It forces us to ask ourselves, if you had the technology to completely erase your worst mistake, would you use it? And honestly, even more terrifyingly, what happens when you give a machine the ultimate authority to decide when it is time for you to forget? Definitely think about that the next time you wish you could just delete a bad memory. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I hope this breakdown has given you a newfound appreciation for the mechanics of psychological sci-fi. Catch you next time.